Today, we're diving into a really dark and honestly complex parable. We're talking about a figure that isn't a villain in the usual sense, but something much more unsettling. Think of it as an architect of a necessary, inevitable end. We're going to be exploring the architecture of a forbidden philosophy and its main agent, the Red Specter.
Right off the bat, the source material is crystal clear. This specter is not some disease you can fight off. No, it's an idea. It's an internal architect, and its only job is to take apart the comfortable, shiny prison, the gilded cage that a stagnant society has built for itself.
So, the Spectre is said to be on an intellectual salvage mission. You see, it isn't here to just break things for fun. It's here to dig up a truth we've all worked really, really hard to bury, the inescapable and maybe even essential reality of our own end. So what is this thing exactly? Well, it's a symbolic force. It's an archetype from what the source calls the shadow cabinet, basically a collection of these kinds of powerful symbolic figures. Its entire function is to force a society that's obsessed with living forever to stare right into the fractal infinite of decay. You know, those beautiful but kind of terrifying suppressed patterns of decline that are just everywhere?
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how the Spectre's journey is framed here. It's not a hero climbing a mountain, it's an inverted hero's journey. It's a deliberate descent. It starts from a place of lonely wisdom up in the high crags, and then comes down, step by step, right into the heart of society's most treasured delusions, from the common marketplace to the exclusive halls of stone.
So the first stop on this trip downwards is the marketplace, right? The big, crowded cities where humanity is just deafened by this constant sensory assault of trivial stuff, and where that little voice, the spirit of contempt, is always whispering, hey, just play it safe. The Spectre shows up and witnesses this profound sickness, all captured in this one specific event. You have a tightrope walker, a perfect symbol of striving, of taking risks, of greatness, and he falls to his death. And the crowd, the audience watching this spectacular failure, is completely, chillingly unmoved.
And bam, that just perfectly illustrates the core problem. This chilling indifference isn't just apathy, it's the final symptom of a society that has chosen safety over what the source calls the agony of creation. They'd rather just be comfortable spectators than risk falling themselves. You could say their collective arrogance is like a fragile rope, just about to snap.
This state of being, it has a name. It's a concept that echoes the philosopher Nietzsche, the last man. This is humanity at its most pathetic, devoid of ambition, totally allergic to risk, and just content with a small, bland, blinkered kind of happiness.
The Spectre sees this whole comfort-seeking obsession as a kind of slave morality. It's a value system that prizes safety above all else, that's terrified of risk, and that devalues the necessary suffering that actually leads to real growth. It's like the holy man praying to a silent sky that's about to be filled with the rhythmic panic of the inevitable.
Okay, so after seeing the sickness in the masses, the Spectre continues its descent. It moves from the symptom to the cause. And its final stop? The sanctuaries of the elite, the actual architects of this stagnation, all hidden away in their garden of hubris. And right here, the central conflict is just laid bare. On one side, you have the gold leaf, all this forbidden knowledge and powerful symbolism twisted into nothing more than pretty decorations designed to distract from the rot that's coming. And on the other side, the void, the undeniable, raw reality of decay that seeps through the cracks no matter how much gold you try to cover it with. The chief guardian of this whole illusion is a guy named Salvio Polito, the high priest, this so-called pale redeemer. He's literally standing on a floor of polished silver, trying to reflect his own perfect curated reality back at himself, anything to deny the abyss that's right under his feet.
This character is the perfect embodiment of what the source calls the Pharisee's paradox. He's a guardian of the loophole. You know the type, someone who preaches about how important spiritual risk is, but has engineered his entire life to blunt its true painful hook. It's all faith with zero stakes.
So here's the crucial point. The Spectre doesn't even need to kick down the doors. Its very presence, its cold breath of reality, is enough to just melt the strongest locks. It proves that every single path in their gilded cage, every geometric line of their architecture, leads right back to the void. It basically solves their problem of Apollonius by nesting the circles of their lives perfectly inside the much, much bigger circle of death.
But look, this act of dismantling things, it isn't just mindless destruction. It's guided by a very specific, if kind of terrifying philosophy. This is what the source calls the Specter's crimson gift, a radical kind of wisdom for an age that's gone soft and overripe.
So, the Specter's philosophy works on two levels. First, there's the core teaching, that humanity isn't a destination, we're a bridge to be crossed, from animal comfort towards something way bigger. And second, there's a historical investigation, showing how our institutions have taken powerful symbols of suffering, like the crucified one, and just turned them into comfortable, meaningless trinkets that actually shield us from pain.
And this is the central, really challenging idea here. The state of the last man, this obsession with comfort, that is not the goal of human existence. It's just a phase. It's a crossing point that has to be overcome to reach something greater, to get back what the source calls the spirit of becoming.
So the Specter's purpose, then, is to write a red chapter that corrects the historical record. It exposes the intellectual censorship that labeled this powerful worldview as morbid or evil, just because it disturbs our comfy sleep. It's here to restore a forbidden knowledge.
And this restoration of forbidden knowledge brings us to the ultimate point of this whole dark parable, a transformation that is as necessary as it is painful.
Here the source draws a line between two kinds of saviors. You've got your traditional miracle worker who promises to take away all our pain, and in doing so just preserves weakness. But the Specter is a shadow savior. It doesn't heal, it harvests. It reaps the field of vanity to clear the ground so something new and strong can finally grow. This is its crimson gift. It's not an escape from pain. It's a joyous affirmation of it. It's a radical acceptance that suffering isn't some obstacle to be avoided, but a fundamental pillar of creation itself. It's the force you need for the transformation of a world that has grown stale and stagnant. By forcing this encounter with the end, the Specter teaches a civilization that's obsessed with preservation how to undergo a process of dissolution and ultimately rebirth. Every step it takes forces a self-undergoing, a deep internal reckoning. It's a reminder to a world that has forgotten how to die that, well, dying is a necessary part of becoming.
And so, that leaves us with a truly provocative question, doesn't it? If our comfortable stagnation is, in fact, a gilded cage that we have built for ourselves, then is that final, honest, terminal shudder the only key that can ever truly set us free?